I'm just insulted he thinks he can come up to my weight and feel like he can just make it easy work. Well, come up to my weight then. I don't not like him. I think he's a funny guy. I think he's funny looking as well. He reminds me a bit of, Tom and Jerry. Which one? What's the mouse?
I didn't even watch
Jerry. He reminds me of Jerry. Oh, literally, yeah. Turkey called it. I didn't even realise. Yeah, Tom and Jerry. He does all that running around.
And I don't think it's going to be like a super tough fight either. His IQ will frustrate him.
Don't you think Teo has also good ring IQ and also is slick, fast?
I think
explosive?
so, but when you look at Teo's performances against guys that are just pure boxers, it's just like he almost lost to Sandor Martin. Some people thought he lost to Sandor Martin.
Boxing legends are breaking down one of the most highly anticipated fights of the coming year, and their verdicts are nothing short of explosive. From a stylistic standpoint, this matchup is already being viewed as one of the most polished fights of this generation. A closer look shows both fighters bringing layers of skill and intelligence to the division. Teofimo insists he has nothing to lose, but realistically, he may be risking more than Stevenson. At 140 pounds, Stevenson looks fully comfortable, almost built for the weight, while Teofimo lacks the same physical presence, which could matter once they finally collide in the ring.
I mean, Teo does have a lot to lose. He's literally got belts to lose. It's more that Shakur doesn't really have a lot to lose because he's moving up in weight, because he isn't putting a title up here. He doesn't have much to lose. Teo has everything to lose here, belts-wise, and a guy coming up in his weight class. Although when you look at the two of them, and I was going to say this earlier, you can definitely see that Shakur is going to be just fine at 140. I've said Teo is a smaller 140 compared to other guys that have fought at that weight class. Shakur will probably be bigger than Teo. Maybe not muscle density-wise, but height, reach, all that, Shakur is going to be.
Analyst Wade Plemons has issued a cautionary take regarding Shakur Stevenson, questioning how smoothly he will adjust to the higher weight class. He argues that predicting how Stevenson's hands, timing, and overall sharpness translate upward is far from simple. According to Plemons, moving up in weight naturally alters a fighter's power and rhythm, and Stevenson will need to prove he can stay just as effective against a physically larger and stronger opponent. That uncertainty adds intrigue, leaving fans debating whether his elite skill set will transfer cleanly or face real resistance.
But I'm sitting here thinking about something. This has nothing to do with what's being said, but I want to point it out. Shakur is moving up to 140. I keep looking at his hands, and I know this is a bit of a tired, played out discussion, but as the weight gets higher, I wonder if it impacts, because of the way guys can take punches at a higher weight, how will Shakur's hands hold up at 140? Genuinely, I asked that question because it feels like that's been the only thing that's really set him back, outside of, maybe being more defensively aware and less offensive at times. I do wonder, how is it going to look if Shakur's hands can't handle it at 40, right? That's one of the things I worry about, because, again, they got the way the guys take punches, bigger dudes. Again, Teo's not the biggest guy at 140. It's just something to keep an eye on. It's an issue that's been persistent with Shakur.
Adding to the growing conversation around Shakur Stevenson, Sean Porter offered his early thoughts on a potential showdown with Teofimo Lopez. Porter acknowledges that Teofimo can look unstoppable at his best, but he also points out clear gaps in his approach. In contrast, Stevenson is viewed as nearly error-free inside the ring. While some question his lack of aggression, Porter dismisses that criticism, stressing that any opponent facing Stevenson must be prepared to endure everything he brings. It underscores just how sharp, dangerous, and methodical Stevenson has become.
I gotta get your opinion on that one.
It's just it's so hard, man. On Teo's best day, he's kind of unstoppable. I don't know if it's that he gets in his own way. I don't know if it's that he doesn't adjust well. I'm really not sure what it is, but we've seen flaws in his game. We haven't seen any flaws in Shakur's game. Everyone would say his offense is his flaw because he's not offensive enough and stuff like that. Just get out of here. The kid's beautiful. When he gets in the ring, beautiful. When he gets out of the ring, that smile don't change at all, And, so that being said, man, I think with Shakur, you got to be able to rough him up. You got to be able to get out of the way of what's coming after you rough him up.
Porter also credits Teofimo Lopez for his raw explosiveness, noting that his speed and unpredictable style keep him dangerous at all times. Even so, Porter leans slightly towards Stevenson in his early evaluation, giving him a narrow advantage. With fireworks expected once they collide, Porter's 60-40 pick in Stevenson's favor only fuels the hype and intensifies the anticipation around what has become one of the most eagerly awaited fights in recent years.
And one thing that I really like about Teo is his explosiveness. You know, he has the ability to just be on top of you and you know, and be unpredictable. If he's using that, it's gonna be a great fight. But at the moment, I would say 60-40 for Shakur.
Okay.
Even Tim Bradley has raised a warning for Shakur Stevenson in a recent interview. He emphasized that this won't be a straightforward fight, highlighting Lopez's unique style, particularly his unpredictability and independence inside the ring, as a major challenge that could give Stevenson real trouble when they face off.
Hey, yeah, you gonna get the real. It's not gonna be an easy damn fight for Shakur Stevenson. Nope, it ain't gonna be an easy fight. Nope. After studying freaking Lopez yesterday, man, look, that athleticism that he got, that speed that he got, the boy is a what's the name I'm looking for? What can I say? He's autonomous. That's the word I'm looking for. He's an autonomous fighter. Okay? What does that mean, autonomous fighter, Tim? Shakur is too. Just like Floyd is. Just like Crawford is. Just like Inoue is.
Tim believes that every fighter eventually reaches a stage where their abilities become second nature, requiring no guidance from others. He sees Teofimo Lopez as precisely that type, someone who has developed to a level where instinct and precision drive his every move. Bradley further emphasized that Stevenson will have to stay exceptionally alert, facing an opponent as slick, technically sound, and highly skilled as Lopez.
You know, young fighters want to get to that point in their career where they become autonomous fighters, okay? Where you don't need no damn instructions. You don't need no guidance. You know how to figure it out. Your fundamentals are so damn sound that, shoot, you got skills now built on top of those fundamentals. Now it's second nature for you. You know what I'm saying? You didn't see the same patterns and rhythms and styles and so on and so forth that it's second nature. It's nothing for you. These guys can operate without any damn instructions, without being told what to do. That's how great these dudes are.
Adding to the pre-fight hype, Connor Ben shared his prediction for the Stevenson versus Lopez showdown. While showing respect for both fighters, Ben leaned slightly toward Lopez, signaling that he sees the bout as far from straightforward. His perspective adds another layer to the ongoing debate, highlighting just how unpredictable this matchup is, and why fans and fighters alike are eagerly awaiting to see who will come out on top.
I'm back in Teo. I think he's in a hard fight. Well, it's not a taxing fight. He's in a complex fight in terms of boxing fight. It's not a grueling war. You won't be in a grueling war, that's for sure.
Playing devil's advocate, obviously, as a journalist as well, you look at pound-for-pound rankings and Shakur is a lot higher. I know you don't like Shakur, but do you not have respect for what he could do against Teofimo Lopez? Because you've dismissed him there, Connor.
No, I don't not like Shakur. I like Shakur. I'm just insulted he thinks he can come up to my weight and feel like he can just make it easy work. Well, come up to my weight then. I don't not like him. I think he's a funny guy. I think he's funny looking as well. It reminds me a bit of Tom and Jerry.
Lamont Roach shared his prediction for the upcoming Stevenson versus Lopez super fight on the Ring Champs podcast, making it clear that he sees Stevenson as the likely winner. He explained that Stevenson's ring IQ and tactical approach could prove difficult for Lopez to overcome.
He has like a little mental lapses every once in a while. Look at the Kambosos fight. Like, that's a fight that people would never expect Kambosos to win, and he won a grueling match against him as well. So I just I don't know. I don't think he can get it done against Shakur when it comes to like because it's going to be just a skill match. I don't think he's going to try to rough Shakur up, and it's probably not going to work.
When asked about Lopez's skills, including his speed, slickness, and boxing intelligence, Roach acknowledged them but pointed out that against pure boxers, Lopez has shown vulnerabilities, suggesting that Stevenson's style could give him the edge in the matchup.
He a little cuckoo too, like he has like a little mental lapses every once in a while.
So who do you think wins that fight between him and Teofimo Lopez if they fight?
I think Shakur wins. And I don't think it's going to be like a super tough fight either. It's IQ with will frustrate him.
Don't you think Teo has also good ring IQ and also is slick, fast?
I think
explosive?
so, but when you look at Teo's performances against guys that are just pure boxers, it's just like he almost lost to Sandor Martin. Some people thought he lost to Sandor Martin.
He did beat Loma, who's arguably at the time considered one of the best in the world.
He did, and that was a hell of a performance too. A hell of a performance too. So yeah, I mean, I think he's hit or miss. You got to think he got stuff. He a little cuckoo too. Like.
Meanwhile, respected analyst Max Kellerman weighed in on the Stevenson versus Lopez clash. Joining the discussion, Malik Scott, a sparring partner for champions like Alexander Usyk and Lennox Lewis, noted that this fight signals a new chapter in boxing. He highlighted Stevenson's combination of resilience and tactical intelligence, while pointing out Lopez's raw explosiveness as a potential game changer. Their breakdown emphasized the distinct strengths each fighter brings, further fueling anticipation and making this showdown a must-watch for both fans and analysts.
It's the type of matchups we always are acting for. When it comes to explosiveness, I would have to go with Teo. When it comes to actual rapid speed, I would have to go with Teo. But when it comes to body punching, when it comes to good timing, when it comes to craft, I would have to give all of that to Shakur Stevenson.
What do you think, Doug?
They're both boxers. I look at Stevenson as a versatile technician. I look at Teofimo. He's a boxer puncher, but his specialty is his counter punching. Listen, if Stevenson wants to be on his stick and move game, very difficult style matchup for Teofimo, and maybe not that entertaining to the fans.
Because Stevenson's longer.
Exactly.
Stevenson's defense probably the best in the game, and he's longer.
Great reflexes and timing, and so does Teo. That's why he's a great counter puncher.
Max Kellerman praised the distinctive style that Teofimo Lopez brings to the ring. Known for taking on challenging opponents that others often avoid, Lopez combines skill, speed, and power in a way few can match. He is aggressive, fearless, and carries knockout potential in both hands, capable of swinging a fight with a single punch. At the same time, Kellerman expressed respect for Shakur Stevenson for choosing to face such a dangerous opponent rather than taking a safer, easier tune-up fight.
Teofimo is a two-division Ring Magazine champion. In both fights where he won the Ring Magazine championship, he was the underdog. 4-1 underdog against Lomachenko. People forget, Lomachenko was taking elite fighters in the lower divisions and they were quitting.
Yes.
He was beating them into some, they were like, I can't do this, right? And Teofimo beat him. Right, he outboxed him.
Yeah, he didn't do it by physically imposing himself on him.
He outboxed him, he outfought him, he had speed, power, and then again against Josh Taylor at junior welterweight, he was the underdog, so he saves his best for his biggest moments.
Yes, and Max, and look, I give Shakur a lot of credit, right, because we see fighters like Boots Ennis that want to do a tune-up fight at their first fight at the new weight.
A victory for Shakur Stevenson over Teofimo Lopez at 140 pounds would dramatically boost his standing in boxing. He could very well establish himself as the top active fighter after Terrence Crawford. Showbiz highlighted that such a win wouldn't just enhance Stevenson's reputation in the lightweight division, but also cement his place as a major figure in the sport, opening the door to potential blockbuster fights and matchups that could define his legacy for years to come.
If Shakur Stevenson beats Teofimo Lopez at 140, if you consider his skill set, not just who he's fought, but his skill set, and then beating Teofimo Lopez at 140, he's actually the best fighter in the world outside of Terrence Bud Crawford if he beats Teofimo Lopez January 31st. Considering his skill set, considering what he's displayed, listen, Shakur Stevenson is arguably the best pure boxer in the world right now, all right? If he beats Teofimo Lopez at 140, thinking about his tools, his skill set, everything that he's displayed, he's the second best boxer in the world today. And that's the Black Two Shookers.
The future of both fighters hangs in the balance, with victory promising a career-defining moment for either man. Showbiz, the analyst, notes that for Teofimo Lopez to prevail over Shakur Stevenson, he'll need to bring his best preparation yet. Lopez's recent bouts have sharpened his skills, indicating he could have the tools necessary to challenge a highly intelligent and tactically adept fighter like Stevenson. This matchup is shaping up to be a true test of both men operating at the top of their game.
Listen, forget accolades. And forget, not just considering his resume and who he's beaten thus far. But if he beats Shakur Stevenson, do you know how good Teofimo Lopez is going to have to be to beat Shakur Stevenson? That means he's learned from Jermaine Ortiz, his fight with him when he didn't look par. His fight against Sandor Martin, all those times with Kambosos, that means that he's grown from those fights, learned from those fights, and gotten so damn good that he can beat the best pure boxer in the world today in Shakur Stevenson.
This matchup represents a classic contrast of styles. Stevenson's precise technique against Lopez's explosive power. Fans are already speculating, will Stevenson's skill be enough to navigate Lopez's relentless aggression, or could Lopez score a game-changing blow early on? It's a stylistic showdown that has both analysts and fans on the edge of their seats, eager to see which approach will ultimately prevail.
Teofimo has been a bona fide world champion in 2 divisions. He was the champion at lightweight, had most of the belts, defeated Lomachenko. He did suffer the upset loss to Kambosos. There were some physical issues there that we didn't know about going into the fight, not to make excuses for him. But regardless, he came back and even though maybe he didn't shine and scintillate maybe in some of those fights after that, when it came time to step up and take on the champ, which was Josh Taylor, he shined in that fight. So when Teofimo is matched, in a big time opponent, he's delivered, and he's done it, a number of times. And, he looked really good against Taylor. And Shakur, by the way, similar thing. He's been flawless through his career. He maybe not the most exciting at times, but Shakur Stevenson gets the job done.
Analysts are applauding Stevenson's calculated and intelligent approach, yet they caution that Lopez's raw power cannot be underestimated. Fans have taken to social media, with many hailing it as the fight of the decade, while others remain convinced that Lopez will dominate Stevenson from the opening bell. The clash of opinions only adds to the excitement, highlighting just how unpredictable and high stakes this matchup has become for both fighters and their supporters.
He has won titles from featherweight up to lightweight. When his back was against the wall, quote unquote, and everybody had big expectations, and he had a lot of pressure on him not to make it a boring fight and all that kind of business. What did he do in his last fight against William Zepeda? He stood in the pocket and he fought the guy, and he won handily. He shut him out, basically. He won like 10 rounds to 2. I mean, he fought a unification fight against Oscar Valdez, a fighter that, even though he might have been favored, thought maybe Oscar could do some damage because he was a good puncher and had a great amateur background and a great chin and all those types of things. And he went out there and he routed him also. I mean, so these are 2 of the best young elite fighters in boxing, and their fight has been talked about for a long time. They spent most of their careers together at Top Rank, which is a fight, if you ever ask Bob Arum.
Other fighters are joining the conversation as well. Some praise Stevenson's steady composure under pressure, calling him one of the most technically gifted boxers today. Others highlighted Lopez's explosiveness, pointing out his knack for turning a fight around instantly. The boxing world remains split, which adds to the intensity of this matchup. Opinions are flying from all sides, and everyone seems eager to share their take.
The kind of Teofimo Lopez that shows up, the most dangerous kind, and I'm going to tell you why. Every time Teofimo Lopez has been counted out in his career, he puts on career best performances. There's been 2 times where Teofimo was supposed to lose and in people's eyes and people counted him out. Lomachenko and then Josh Taylor. Both times he came in and looked stellar. There are nights Teofimo underperforms when he's supposed to look good, and that's why he's an enigma. But this is the kind of night where he's going to be maybe an underdog. People are going to count him out. This is when he's going to come his most dangerous. If Shakur Stevenson beats this Teofimo Lopez, this is a big credit to Shakur Stevenson, but it's going to be a very big ask because Teofimo Lopez, when his back is against the wall, we've seen him put on his career best performances.
Experts remain divided, which only adds to the thrill. Stevenson's strengths are his defense, adaptability, and sharp boxing IQ. If he manages the distance and steers clear of Lopez's heavy shots, he stands a strong chance. Lopez, on the other hand, excels under pressure and in explosive exchanges. A single perfectly timed punch from him could change the fight in an instant.
Teofimo Lopez, don't run. Don't run. You ran from the Haney fight already, dude. Come on, don't run from this one, bro. For real, bro. Stop with all the antics, bro. I know you like attention, but damn. Get in there and fight against Shakur Stevenson, bro. For real. You know what I'm saying? Stop playing. Stop playing around. Shakur ain't playing. Nah, Shakur ain't playing. No tune-ups coming up to see you in your weight, 5 pounds above 135. He can beat you. He knows how to beat you. That's what he believes in his heart, Tio, you're talented. Yeah, you are, man. But damn, you talk too much and you don't back it up. That's the problem I have with you. You know, you can't be sitting here and trying to be the Ali of this generation talking all this trash.
While many see Teofimo Lopez as the more aggressive fighter, Ryan Garcia offered a different view. He believes Lopez is fundamentally a counterpuncher and that the idea of non-stop aggression doesn't fully capture his style. Garcia noted that to defeat Shakur Stevenson, Lopez will need to adapt, as Stevenson is already a sharp counterpuncher with an exceptional boxing IQ. This forces Lopez to actively pursue openings, turning the matchup into a genuine tactical battle between two highly skilled fighters.
Just because Teofimo likes to fight people that like he could counter, and with Shakur he has to chase him. So it's not a good style matchup for Teofimo. But shit, if Teofimo finds a way, fucking kudos to him for sure. Like, cause I don't see Teofimo being that aggressive. You know, he's aggressive.
Yeah, he's more like he throw his punches, not trying to hurt. He just trying to tag you.
Yeah, like he's not very aggressive. Like he's more of a natural counterpuncher, but not an aggressive fighter. That like he'll go get you if he has to.
But Shakur's the same way though, no?
Shakur's more of a counterpuncher, but he's gonna make sure that Teofimo chases him for sure.
Renowned analyst Teddy Atlas also shared his take, offering a view that differs from many others. While the matchup is widely seen as a stylistic dream, Atlas focused on the uncertainties involved. He admitted he isn't entirely convinced it will become a fireworks-filled bout, but he emphasized that it will feature two highly skilled fighters in what he describes as a sweet science contest, a battle defined by technique, strategy, and precise execution.
Is this gonna be a great fight? I don't know if it will. I mean, style-wise, I could see you having a little reservations, you know, whether or not these guys will make for dynamite, they will make, you know, for electricity. I don't know if they will, but I tell you what they will make for. Two skillful fighters, two talented fighters, you know, two fighters that are at a high skill level that will compete in the sweet science.
Focusing on both fighters' strengths, Teddy Atlas highlighted Shakur Stevenson's recent performance against William Zepeda as a prime example of his skill and style at the highest level. He noted that Stevenson showed increased aggressiveness while still relying on his superior boxing IQ, suggesting he may take a similar approach against Teofimo Lopez. Regarding Lopez, Atlas underscored his explosive power, making this matchup a true clash of contrasting styles. In his view, two highly skilled and visually impressive fighters bring unique strengths, with the fight capable of swinging either way at any moment.
It was a terrific performance. Shakur showing that dimension, showing that attitude, showing that competitiveness, showing that dog, like people like to show or like to talk about, and they wanted to see in Shakur. Well, they saw it. Teofimo showed you that he can fight inside, he can fight outside. He would have the advantage of power in this fight. You know one thing that I love about this fight, Bud? Shakur's very athletic, very talented. So is Teofimo. He's more explosive with power, but Teofimo is very athletic. He is very talented. You got two athletic guys, two talented guys.
Now, Showbiz the Adult has issued a caution to Teofimo Lopez, advising him to be careful in his strategy against Shakur Stevenson. He feels Lopez could face difficulties executing his plan against one of the most technically gifted fighters of this era. Showbiz stresses that Stevenson is entering the fight fully prepared, capable of punishing any missteps if Lopez underestimates the challenge ahead.
Because if he's trying to push the fight, if he's trying to make sure it's exciting too, it can be, because Teo's going to push it to make it exciting, which allows for Shakur to pick him apart.
Adding further to the buzz, Gary Antoine Russell shared his candid take on the upcoming Stevenson versus Lopez matchup. He feels that if Lopez performs like he did against Lomachenko, he has a real chance to overcome Stevenson, fueling debate among fans already split over the outcome. With insights like Russell's leaning toward Teofimo, the hype around this fight continues to grow, making it one of the most anticipated clashes in recent memory.
It's 50-50. You know,
in order for you to participate in this sport, you gotta have a high level of confidence. I feel like both of them has a high level of confidence. Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson, but styles make fights. Naturally, I think Teofimo Lopez is stronger than Shakur. Naturally, I think he has more athleticism than Shakur, and he got a good IQ on the sport itself. But Shakur, I feel like he's a more smarter fighter. He's a more technical fighter. You know, I'm not saying that he's a square or he's just a textbook fighter, but he's seasoned, he's poised. I feel like mentally he's more mature.
Gary highlighted Teofimo Lopez, describing him as a powerful, natural talent whose dedication and work ethic give him a clear advantage in the ring. While he views the fight as essentially a 50-50 contest, Gary leans toward Lopez, particularly if he performs with the same strength and determination shown against Lomachenko. He emphasized that Lopez's combination of skill and mindset makes him a legitimate threat to Shakur Stevenson, capable of challenging even the most technically gifted opponents.
You know, that's why everybody was criticizing him for, oh, he's a born fighter. He's a careful fighter. And I feel like with Teofimo Lopez, he's going to be a careful fighter. Now, just because he's a careful fighter doesn't mean that he isn't punctual with how he do things. I think Shakur, he got a lot in his arsenal that he can use to make him be victorious as well as Teofimo Lopez. You know what I mean? So it's a 50-50 fight, and it depends on what fighters show up the night of the fight. Right. You know? But if I had to give you my whole honest truth, if Teofimo Lopez show up and is ready to fight just like how he fought Lomachenko, he'll win.
Regis Prograis delivered a bold prediction for the Lopez versus Stevenson bout, strongly backing Stevenson and stirring reactions among fans. He highlighted what he perceives as weaknesses in Teofimo's style, making his stance clear. Prograis went further, forecasting that Stevenson could secure a decisive victory, possibly in spectacular fashion, noting that throughout his career, Stevenson has yet to reveal any significant flaws in his game.
But how do you think that fight plays out?
I got Shakur, just a better boxer. Shakur's, I suppose Shakur, really good boxer, and Teo has trouble with boxers. You know, now the thing about Teo, like sometimes Teo does show up. You know, for big fights, Teo shows up. For the small ones, it's like sometimes he doesn't really show up. But Shakur kind of shows up almost all the time. So, and then Shakur is just a good boxer, good IQ. I think that Shakur should beat Teo. If Teo beats him, I'm not gonna lie, if Teo beats Shakur, it'll be a shock to me. It'll be a surprise, but I would think right now, I would say Shakur.
As the hype builds for Stevenson versus Lopez, one thing is clear, this fight isn't just about skill. It's about legacy, strategy, and heart. Both fighters bring something unique to the ring, and fans around the world are already debating who will come out on top. The countdown is on, and every prediction, every analysis, every fan reaction adds fuel to the fire. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button, share this video with fellow fight fans, and make sure to subscribe to Ring Rivalry for the latest expert analysis, predictions, and all things boxing. Don't miss a single update leading up to this epic showdown.